Is absolutely the way to do it. Love the stock here.
Bill?
This is just the start. I mean, the expectation was they're going to be one of the first to bring NVIDIA's technology and networking through Azure. And I think, I have a Surface right here. I love it. It's a great machine. And I think it's just the start of the monetization of what we're seeing here, moving away from NVIDIA, moving away from the chips. You're going to start to see it across the table in the tech sector and then through other sectors as well.
Josh, AI PCs get you excited? You actually trimmed Apple. You're on the other side of this coin.
I did. Well, I did it yesterday into the close. There was some really tremendous strength across the market broadly. Wanted to monetize it somewhere, but we really didn't have much cash. Everything's kind of put it to work. And I've been talking about it over the last month. Under the surface, a little bit of rotating. So we trimmed Apple. It's still number 6, and still we're underweight the S&P now, roughly about a 4% weighting. So it's, for me, it broke down. It broke down an uptrend going back to December. And from a momentum standpoint, it has completely stalled. I want to see the momentum. This was a top holding next to Amazon. I want to see the momentum turn back north here. In order to do that, we'd probably have to see Apple back above 185. So we're a little bit cautious until we see that.
All right. So again, Apple shares down. We want to stick with tech. Let's get to our chart of the day. Micron hitting a record high after beating quarterly estimates and giving strong guidance. Bill, I'm coming back over to you. You're in this one as well.
Yeah, this is a top 5 name of ours. It's been right in the center of our portfolio for quite a while. And this isn't a story of where this came out. It didn't come out of nowhere today. Micron had an awesome year last year. And really, this goes back to 2022. And the end of 2022, I've been talking about this many times over. The CEO of Micron wanted to flush out the supply and an oversupplied market. The demand will come back around. Last year talked about a trough in memory demand. Really, what they hit on yesterday, the new acronym HBM, high bandwidth memory, and that's going to be, you're going to see more and more of that popping up around. And NVIDIA, at their new meeting, Jensen Huang, the CEO there, talked about their new technology. It's going to need more HBM, and Micron's technology increases that HBM by more than 20 times the memory bandwidth. So I think what you're going to see here, demand throughout the tech landscape and where the chips, as they evolve, and it's not just the picks and shovels anymore with NVIDIA. They're going to lift all boats around them. Micron's a name like that. Synopsys is a name like that.
Right.
And these are just performing names right now.
Yeah, Micron playing in the memory and the storage space. Again, shares up.
Hit over $200, and it's kind of just giving that entire gain back. I don't like that performance in the market that's actually making new highs. So relative to the NASDAQ, it's underperforming. And trying to find a place to trim. We're still overweight AMD in the benchmark right now, but now just about a 3% weighting in ours. So again, this is under the surface, little bits of rotating. You can't do it all at once.
Right.
So we were 55% tech. We're about almost 40, a little above 40% now. So I'm trying to find places to kind of move the needle a little bit.
Was valuation at all an issue for you when you made this decision? I'm looking at AMD 49 times forward earnings, Micron 53 times forward earnings, then NVIDIA just 27 times forward earnings.
I'm clearly not extremely focused on valuation for me to have such heavyweight in tech, for quite a while for this move. But what I'm looking at is the momentum here, more the centerpiece of exactly why is this turning down right now. It hit 200, it's rejected 200, it's stalled. The rest of the market has risen. So I'm going to kind of take a step back and here reevaluate what the next move here for AMD is.
All right, looking at AMD shares up just over 1% right now. Bill, you own it as well?
I think it's really taken a lot of the bad news very well this year. It's not a stock that moves a ton, so it's held up really well and building out a little bit of a floor. I think, but the bad news behind it, they're mitigating the risks with the cyber attack and the breach, and I think it's behind them moving forward. So I'd like to see the stock have a better performance the second half of the year, though.
Why not wait until the technical?
Actually bought Nucor.
Yes, as we heard, trimmed Apple, trimmed Amazon, or sorry, not Amazon, trimmed AMD, and that cash went into Nucor. There is tremendous flows from a money standpoint into materials right now. I was on last week talking about adding to Southern Copper, looking for additional exposure in materials. Nucor is breaking out, but from a balance sheet standpoint, one concern is they do have $1 billion in debt coming due in Q2 of 2025, so that could start to come into the news later this year. but also from an infrastructure standpoint. I mean, whether it's AI data centers or cable infrastructure that's being built out, steel prices are on the rise, and Nucor, I think, continues to rise with that.
You know, to your point, Nucor hitting a new intraday high today. Steel Dynamics doing it as well. I do want to ask you, though, about a month ago, they released some guidance ahead of their earnings coming up next month, and it was kind of mixed. I mean, the EPS guidance was below the estimates. They also said one segment, you know, when it comes to steel mill, that's going to be strong in Q1. Steel products going to be down. What gave you the confidence? Is it the material sector rally that we've been seeing lately, or is there some other factor?
Well, flows are definitely playing a big part in this, and I want more material space in the space, or money in the space. It's a top 10 holding in the XLB. So if XLB is breaking out, you're going to start to see more flows into that. But as a futures trader and growing up and trading as a futures trader, when you have poor to mixed fundamental news and the market doesn't trade poorly off of that, that's usually can become a very good sign. So I like that from the mixed news there, especially the market has been punishing mixed guidance, and I think being able to shake that off is a positive.
All right, again, Nucor hitting a new intraday high, shares up over 1%. Saying it's no longer the grower that it once was. Shares down 2% right now. Bill, you actually just sold this one.
Yeah, we sold it today. It's bounced back a little bit from earnings. Guidance was soft, but I think the market sort of overreacted to the guidance. The problem is the Figma deal did not go through. That was going to be a $20 billion deal. They took that money and they did a $25 billion buyback. I think in the middle of an AI arms race, with Sora releasing the video and the technology from OpenAI, that they're going to compete with Adobe here, they're going to reinvest this money back into the business. The market is punishing them. And as you see the NASDAQ go higher, Adobe is lower today, so I'm stepping away from it.
Yeah, to your point, since the Figma deal didn't work out, Adobe shares down about 12%. The triple Q's up about 10% since then. Bill.
Uber consolidated great after the buyback news. Now number go up.
Carrie.